We'll start other inheritance. Before starting inheritance, I'll say one more property of method overloading. So we have seen method overriding, changing the signature of existing function from parent class, then calling them separately and printing whatever statement is written in their signature. That was the method overriding. Today we'll start first with method overloading. There's also a concept in both method overriding and method overloading are part of polymorphism. Okay, so inheritance is one principle, polymorphism is another principle. Then encapsulation, abstraction. After inheritance, we'll have these two more. Method overloading. Now, what we're doing in method overloading, we change the argument number in function. So in one class, let's say class sample, I've created a function div aid and then writing here x comma y, where x is integer and y is also integer. And then we are doing addition of this x plus y. This is also returning integer. This is one function. Now suppose you write another function here. You type div 8 again. Again you're saying x integer, but this time you're passing three values: x integer, y integer, and z is also integer. Then you're doing addition of all these three number, x plus y plus z. This is like cube three-dimensional data. So if you check in this, my function name is same in both the place. Okay, within the same class. I can change their data type also. So instead of this integer, I can make this data type as double, double, and double also, or double integer, double also. Okay, I can play with this. So having the same function name and changing their number of argument is known as a method overloading. We'll see this. Method overloading. We'll create one function here. Let's create it 8 function only, if 8. And in this 8, I want to pass two argument. X is integer and y is also integer. Then in function body x plus y, I'll create another function div add, and this time I'll change the number of argument x, y, z, and this time I'm adding x, y, and z. So you are using this in the same class. Can I? So first I will prove this within the same class, then I'll go with the next class as in subclasses. I want to call this from my object. So object math if main, and then you can create an instance. Well, m is equal to new math over, and call m dot. Now, if you're thinking, okay, this is great, but how can I call this since both are having same name? So when I'm using dot, you can see my first option and second option. By default, it is coming as you want to call the 2-argument method or you want to call the 3-argument method. You can see ADD and ADD, both the functions are there. Let me take this one first, and I'll write two values, 12, 34. Then m dot add. Here I'll call three values, 11, 10, 9. And print statement is required to get a print of this. There also we need a print statement. Now let's execute this. Right click and run. I think yesterday we did multiple testing and this class was not written properly, so it is giving error. Anyway, let me remove this, then it should work. If within function any class is having problem, your class will not run. So check first what function is giving you error. You can see the output is here, 46 and 30. So this is I'm using within the class. Can I use from subclass? Class me or meth1 extends method over. This is just I'm telling out of curiosity to know few cases. Let me take this thing here. Okay. Now if you're asking me, okay, this is EDD, this is also EDD, why I'm not writing override here? Why we are not using term override here? Okay, because you're not using the same number of argument. If you're using the same number of argument and then you try to do this, then this will throw you error. It says the function needs override type. So if you're having the exact same signature, this is the signature and this is the number of argument, then this will be a method overriding. And if you're changing the argument, this is the method overloading. So we know what is the method overriding and what is the method overloading. If I want to create an instance of this, I'll say m1 is equal to new math over, and then I'll call this from m1. One second, I'm still getting error. Too many arguments. One second, it's not taking the ADD function. It is taking just one ADD function. I change their signature. So changing signature will anyways work. Yeah. One thing we'll note here, if we are doing method overriding, so override keyword is there if it is a non-concrete method. In this case, this will not work because I'm giving the same function name as this function name. So my instance of this class is getting confused. Which one I am calling? I'm calling this function or I'm calling this function. So we get the point. Either I should change the function name. If I'm not changing the function name, then I should keep the same number of argument and type here override. Then only it will work. Otherwise, it won't work. So within subclasses, you cannot achieve the concept of method overloading. After that, multiple inheritance or the trait concept, where we need traits. Or what is the trait, class, and object? What is the difference between these three? So let's read the hierarchy first. Trait, class, and object. Class is a blueprint, we know. Thought process. Object, this is an instance of a class or implementation of the class. So it's an instance of a class. Then trait. What is trait? Trait, we define top of the class and object. So trait, class, and object you can keep inside. You can keep a part of trait, or you can extend this from thread. So if you want to use any variable, or if you want to use any functions from trait, you can extend this, and this will be useful when you want to create multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance you cannot achieve using two classes. However, you have to create two traits. So let's take a real-time example. Okay, I can say human is a trait where men and women is a class. Men and women is a class. Then I can say Asia is a trait, and all the countries are part of Asia that are my classes. India, Japan, Korea. Okay, likewise. So different continents. So based on that define our definition, we'll try to prove some point. Let's create this thing. Okay, and then we want to utilize this both the trait. How can we use it? I'm trying to create a multiple inheritance signature or graphical representation. We'll understand again. I have one trait A, then I have second trait B, and then I'm extending this both the trait and creating one class. Let's say class A1. So this is what I'm doing. Two traits and then extending the traits, creating one class, which is A1. Now, after this, what internal properties we have in trait? So trait can have a concrete method as an abstract method, non-abstract method. Both I can have. Let's see what is abstract method and what is a non-abstract method. So both I can check in the trait. I'll start from here. I'll give a name as trait. By the way, you can directly create a trait also from here. If you right click on your classes, there's an option of trait separately. So let me handle here first, and then later I will see creating the separate traits only. Trait woman, and this woman has one function div eat. Woman eating habit is part of food cycle. Okay, then I'll create one more function div wake up, in order to achieve the target, we have to wake up early. Okay, I'm just writing some statement. Wake up early. This is part of women, and then there are some nature, which I'll say trait, nature trait. And in this nature, I will create function def air. Oxygen is required for oxygen is required to breathe. I'm creating another def water. Without water, life existence is not possible. Okay, I've created this two trait, and then I want to use this both the trait from a class. I'll say class men extends human with. Now, whenever you are using two traits to be extended by one class, then first you are saying extends trait one with. You'll use this with keyword if you're extending the same, extending the trait again in the same class. So we'll be doing this. Class men extends human with nature. Okay, you can change the order also, not necessary. It has to be always first this trait, then this second this trait. You can first say nature and then second say human also. That will also work pretty well. Now, I want to call this functions, right? Like, can I create some basic or a function which I only want to write in the main class? I'll say def. I'll create one function here which I want to only use in the main class. So def, what function I should create? Def, uh, which is a unique property. So let's say def beard. Main has beard. Rest of the function it is taking from both the trait. I'll create another class woman extends human with nature. Def, I'll create one more class which is unique only. Okay, so let's say def there according to government of I'll take some year of marriage. So in India, the valid age of women marriage is 18 years. Then I want to create one object mw if main method. Then we'll create an instance, right? How we create the instance where w is equal to new woman and well, m is equal to new men. Then println w dot, you want to call from w what? From w you want to call human and nature. So w eat should be there. I can call eat function. Println from w I can call wake up function also. Okay, I'm calling all the method from both the classes. M dot eat, then m dot, what was the second function? Wake up. Then second println w dot nature wise call you want to have. So let's say here first. Then println will have w dot water. Then println m dot here, println m dot water. W w is one pending, so I'll call println w dot years of marriage, and println. There are many rules to come. Let's see all the rules. M dot beard. Okay, let's see the output. So first we'll print w woman to method eat and wake up. Then again main eat and wake up, calling the same trait. Then w is calling second trait along with on function. M is also calling second trait along with on function. It should print us this many output from 34 to 43, or roughly 9 output will get in line. We'll validate the output. What is the issue with the function water? Water does not have the signature. Sorry, this is it should work now. So first it is printing the w.eat method, which is human eating habit is this. Then w.wake up method, which is this line. Then same thing I'm calling from M, uh, main and main called by human, called to human. Then oxygen is repeating twice. Oxygen without. And in woman, I'm calling the woman separate function. In main, I'm calling the main separate function. You can use very well here the override property also if you want to change the signature. Okay. But one additional thing will come in the trait, which I'll tell first. If you think some function is different, okay, if you think that the sum function of woman and main is different here, so I can create that function here with abstract method. Okay, it is like this. So this two functions, let's say I'm not creating here first. This two function I'm not creating here. I'll create one function div, and I can say div here. Let's say I'm checking this thing. Now, when I'm writing this only, okay, you have not given any signature. So this type of method is known as a abstract method. Remember this, we are moving gradually to the abstraction part. This type of method is known as abstract method. If your function does not have any signature, the signature is missing. This is not there. That's why I'm calling abstract method. Now, whenever I want to implement this, here no need to type the override. When you are extending this human trait, no need to type override before beard because there is no signature. You can directly use this beard and print wherever you want to use it. So since my main woman, both the classes is extending it, I'll create a function with the same name, exact same name, if beard, and then I'll write the signature here. Main has beard. Then same thing I want to call woman. Woman doesn't have, does not have. And many examples we can take like this. Right click and it will give you the output. So years of marriage is not there. So I'll remove this. So beard is common for both. Uh, Beard is common for both. You can see the output. One second. Yeah. So it is not coming because the reason I will tell you. M dot they all are unit function. So let me take this to a string. Override typing string does not conform to base type unit. Okay. So this is not allowing me. Let me handle this other way. I'll say println and then yeah, this should work. So earlier print was missing. That's why I did not get the output. Look, this is a programming, so you have to execute, compile, check the output, execute, compile. This is a repeating business, right? It's not just one in one shot we can write the exact perfect code. We'll keep writing and testing and checking. So println is not allowing you here to use it. Now instead of calling the beard, I no need to call this println w dot beard and by the way, println is I've already given there, so not required here. Similarly, not required here. Now I'm expecting to get the output here. So woman does not have a beard, woman has a beard. It's coming. This is your multiple inheritance. If you're checking closely, you created first woman, you created then nature, and then extending. If you're trying to take the same scenario with classes, it will not work with the classes. Can you extend more than two traits? You cannot extend more than two traits because this keyword we can use only extends with, not two times with. Now, this is about the trait. Then this is abstract method and non-abstract method. Okay, trait can have both. So whenever we need multiple inheritance, we can take an ample of example. Okay, let's take another example with a multiple inheritance. And this time I'm creating a trait itself. I'll give this name as, let's say I want to give this name as Asia. And then in Asia, I want to call the countries, okay, which are part of or some function, div GDP. Now I know this GDP is common function for all the country, so I'll not give any signature for it because giving signature is ultimately forcing me to override the function, which I don't want to do. I'll create another function thread. I'll create thread function and give uh, this function name as euro, trade name as euro, and then you create a function in a uh, div put. Now, when my first class, which is India, extending Asia, so I can use this method, which is a abstract method. So whenever you're using abstract method, you'll have to implement it first. Okay. Without implementation means you'll have to provide the signature for this. If you're not providing any signature, then it will start throwing you error, just like this. You can see India must either be declared abstract or implement abstract member. You'll have to implement it. Implementation means this. This is what I'm calling as implementation. GDP, and then here I'll take the GDP is 2.9, some number. Okay, so or I can do this thing. I want to use some private, well, India GDP is equal to 2.9, and then I want to print this. Now this is integer. After that, and the println statement is required here. When you are extending from thread, you can check it if it is working well and good. Not working, you can write println here itself. Can I extend both? Okay, let's not give this name as Europe. This name as food habit. And here I'll create a function veg and another function as non-veg. So India GDP is this. Now we want to extend for this food habit also. So here it will be with new thread div wage. Most of the people in uh, in India are wages. Println and close that. If you want to use the non-veg also, you can write the number actually. Let's say not most, we'll say 76% of the people, and I'll create another function which says div non-veg is equal to println rest I will read as 24% of the people are hardcore average. You can create another class as Japan, class Japan extends Asia with food habit. Then div GDP. I'll create new variable here. I'll create a new variable where I'll say JPN GDP 3.2, and I'm sorry, when I'm using this type of data, I should say double. This also should be double. That's the reason this is giving me error. It should be good now. Yeah, since you're calling println within bracket JPN GDP. Diff wage. Japan doesn't have concept of wage. Diff second function. 100% people are non-wage. Then I want to take one object again. Object ij. Diff main method. Now create instance and call. Your thought process is done. Well, I is equal to new India. Well, j is equal to new Japan, and I dot GDP, I dot wage, I dot non-wage. Similarly, j dot j dot j dot. Enter. We'll see the output in order of countries as I have printed here, because my compiler will read this line. So it will first give a result of India, and then second it is giving me the result of Japan. So traits is very useful when we want to use them with one class and two traits we want to use. I can create concrete as an abstract method and non-abstract method both. How do you know when to create abstract and non-abstract method? Based on the requirement, based on the application. If you think that this is being used for both the classes, then it's better to define them without signature. If you think that this is common, okay, if you think that some value is common, let's say, can I take some value as common for Asia? So def, what is the common between these two countries? Okay, I'll take let's say their electronic industry. If this is common, then I'll create one common function here. I'll say println electronic industry as good response. If I want to print this in both, I just need to call it. No need to say any extra thing. I dot electronic and j dot electronic. So if something is common, you can write their signature. If something is not common, you should not write their signature. You should keep them as abstract methods. So when you need to change, you should be able to change it. This is my output is printed when I'm calling the electronic function. After multiple inheritance, if you get this point, then you can do hybrid inheritance also. Hybrid inheritance can also work, right? So hybrid inheritance was what? Extending this two trait by one class, which I'm doing. And let me create one picture first. So quickly right click, go create one trait first, or let me do this way. Create first class and write the class name. I want to take this example now. for hybrid inheritance, I want to fit in this example. Class A is extended by class B and class C. Then these two are extended by one class D. So if I want to fit any response in this scenario, that would be this way. So let's take one bank. If I take here, so bank can use this, or yeah, we'll do this. So let's create one society. Okay, then society is extended by class B, class C. These are two floor. These are two building. These are two building. Building A and building B in this society. Building A, building B. Then want to use this building in building B in one more class, which is a common class. Let's say common garden. Okay, or garden does not look logical. We'll try to create some logical class. Class building A, building B is accessed by, so some person is there who has a house in both the building A and building B. Okay, let's do. Can I do this with class? I have to create a class, then maybe my both classes can extend. So I'll have to create first trait. Remember, to achieve this output, I'll have to create a trait. And this trait name I will give as a society. And enter. Then you can write some method here, def garden. It has amazing green grass garden. Writing one statement. After that, I want to create one class, which is class building A. Building A extends society. And you want to create new, you want to create one more function, which is there only, def floor. So this is a separate function for building A. Here we'll see println total 9 floors are there. Right? Possible that in both two separate buildings we can have a different floors. Class building B extends society. And here I'll have diff floor. Now, since this function is required for both, can I do one thing? Can I create this diff floor function in the trait itself? Right, that is better because here I'll say floor, and I can use this floor here also. Diff floor println it has total 9 floors. Similarly, I'll copy this and use here as well. Div println, it has total 11 floors. Then so far hierarchical is kind of done. You have created one class and both the classes are extended by. Now if I try to extend this by class, one more class person, there's a problem. Extends building A with building B. And if you check this error, it says building B needs to be trait to be mixed in, right? So can I extend class thing in trait? Is this possible? So hierarchy, we remember trait will come first, then class, then object. So this has to be a trait, and this also should be a trait. One trait can definitely extend the another trait. That is possible. Okay. So you're extending in building A, building B. Now you can extend this, and your error is gone. Then you want to call this floors, both the floors. Any specific function you want to create here? Div total flat. So you can write here I have flat in both the buildings. Once this is done, you can create object pb div main method. Well, p is equal to new person, and from this p you can call p dot floor. So which floor it will take? Once again, p dot floor. So it will take, I think looks like this. It will take, if I want to take this one, okay, I can use override function to print it now. So total flat I want to call, then p dot floor. Any other function, p dot garden. So this is a hybrid inheritance. What it says, method floor in trait A, type of unit. String. Found unit required string. Let me see why the error is coming. Expression of type unit does not conform to expected type string. Okay. Building we extend society uses the floor. Person extends building A, building B. All this looks good, but let me try again. No, actually, it is not giving me error in. It is not giving me error in this thing. Garden. It is giving me error in building A and building B. Class person inherits conflicting members. So problem is coming, which I'm guessing. It is actually confusing on this floor values, both the floor values. So that is the problem coming here, and I can use the override function, and let me see now. It should give me the latest print. Yeah. So it was getting conflicted. That's the reason it was giving me error. However, it is giving me currently the overridden method. Earlier, the overridden was not there. That's why it was thinking floor, which floor to call. There are ample of ways to check and read the error and get the answer. So this is your hybrid inheritance. Inheritance wise, we're good. Polymorphism. Now encapsulation and abstraction to more point is there in OPS programming. And we'll try to mix in our threads with abstract. Afterwards, we'll see the concept of collections, then multi-threading. So this two will be pending in Scala, then we'll see Spark thing.